This is the picture of the setting where the three apples, the short story, takes place. I chose this photo because it really goes well with the story and represents the story very well. And this is also where the Caliph and Jafar went. This is the picture of the old man. I think this is relevant to the Petra Kucha because technically this is how it all started by the man sending Jafar and Caliph to the river to go catch fish for money in return without him knowing that a girl was inside badly cut up. This is a picture of the fishnet. I think this is relevant because this is where the dead girl's body was discovered cut and how this made Jafar really mad and sad at the same time. This led on to Jafar wanting to get revenge on the person who killed her. This is a picture of the dead girl. The dead girl was found in the fishnet when they were trying to catch fish in return for money. I think this is relevant to the Petra Kucha because she is the main character and is the cause of Jafar's anger and sadness. This is a picture of the punishment people would receive if they didn't find the killer of the girl who was cut up. I think this photo is important because it shows how cruel people were back then and how people didn't care what would happen to you.
This picture represents when Jafar was begging the king to give him 3 days time period to find the girl's murderer so that he would not be hung and suffer the consequences of not finding who it is. This picture represents the part in the short story where the man, which was the girl's husband, moving through the crowd to talk to the king and confess that he murdered her so that Jafar would not suffer from being killed. This picture represents the part in the short story in which Jafar and his men were about to be hung for not finding the girl's murderer in the time period which was given to them from the king. This is why I chose this picture. This picture represents the fact that the old man's daughter was the young man's wife, in which they had 3 children together. And when she got sick, he went on a search for 3 apples, which she had a desire for. One of the sons took it because he didn't know it was for his mother. This picture represents the knife that was used when the man killed his wife for not finding the 3 apples, in which he went out and got for her for trying to satisfy her desire for an apple because she was very ill.
Within the story, when the man is out and about, he comes across a black slave that is holding an apple. Obviously, in the book, there is a sense of a low or poverty class, and so that's what the slaves were to them in this time period. This slave goes on to tell the story about how he visits his mistress and she had 3 apples and he decided to take one of them. And while the man is hearing about this story, of course he would think it was his wife because she also has 3 apples at home. Hearing this story from the slave creates a sense of anger within the man because he goes on to assume that the woman that the slave is talking about is his wife. And so he's trying to just come to sense of what it all, which results in resentment and fury. With this anger, he tries to figure out a way to get back at her and to release his anger. So he goes back to kill his wife, stabbing her, slicing her neck, and then to make matters worse, he actually slices her body up and puts it in a basket and throws it in a river. After the murder of his wife, he finds his son near the river, and come to find out his son actually took the apple, and it had nothing to do with the slave story. So then the man has a sense of shock and sadness because he killed his wife.
Jafar felt very sad about having to leave his family due to him not knowing what to do and how to find the slave that stole the apple and caused the man to kill his wife. So he started to say farewell to his family, and when he saw his daughter, he went up and he picked her up, and that's why this image is being used today. At this point in the story, Jafar is on his third day of trying to figure out who was the slave that stole the apple from the little boy. And when he gets home, he realizes that his daughter has an apple, and he asks where did she get the apple. Next, she replies and says that she got it from a slave, and he goes up and finds the slave. After that, Jafar goes and finds the slave that they was talking about, and he asks the slaves, where in good heavens have you found the apple? And the slave says he does not want to lie, so he instead tells them that he did not take it from the commander of the faithful, and not his guardians either, but instead says he got it from a little boy. And the story begins with how he met the little boys, or he saw the little boys playing around, and he realized that one of the boys had an apple, so the moment he drops the apple, he runs and grabs it before the little boy. And when he grabs it, the little boy is saying, no, 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 this is my mom's. I got it from my mom. Please don't take it. Please don't take it. And he completely ignores it. Lastly, Jafar takes the slave to the king and says, here's the slave that did this. And the king says, well, tell me the story, and if it's more amazing than the events that we have just witnessed, I will pardon your slave, but if not, I will kill him. So he tells him the story, and I use this picture to show that the slave was scared of the king because he didn't know what he was going to do if he was going to die.